Hey friends, it's Kevin Thiessen here. For such a time as this, my turn this week, and gotta be honest with you, I'm on about take 57 now. This has been a hard one to record, but we're gonna get through this, and I hope that it is an encouragement for you today. My theme for today is deciding to believe, and I've got a couple of reasons why this has been on my mind. The first is just decision making. Everything from little decisions that we make every day, like what to wear, what to do, what to eat, to much bigger decisions that we make throughout our lives, like key relationships, maybe who to marry or whether to have children, or for almost all of us, what to do for a career. And that's been on my mind because, as many of you know, we're in a season where we've had to make a big decision as a family. And that decision was surrounded around a career move for me, where I was asked to be the Dean of Students at Briarcrest College. So we had to make a difficult decision to now come to the end of 10 years at Central Baptist Church and to enter a new season. And the implications of decisions of that magnitude, where they impact your family, they impact your friendships, your life rhythms, your physical place, like so many things. And that's just a reality, but it's been on my mind because we're now entering that season of transition. The second thing is that in a few days, on Tuesday, we're going to launch another session of Christianity Explored. Christianity Explored is something that I've facilitated at Central Baptist, where we invite people who are skeptical, who are curious, who are wanting to investigate Christianity to come with all their questions and to go with us through a 7 to 8 week process where we will investigate Christianity. We're going to look at who Jesus is, what he said, what he did. We're going to spend some time in the Bible, specifically in the book of Mark, which is one of the 4 Gospels, the 4 eyewitness accounts of Jesus' life, where we will together work through their questions, work through their curiosity, their skepticism, wherever they're at, and do everything we can to present them with the evidence for Christianity and help them to come to a place where they can determine for themselves, can I trust and believe in Jesus? So the verse that I wanted to anchor today's thought in is Hebrews 4:2. And the author of Hebrews, if you didn't know, is writing his letter to a group of young Christians, some of whom are becoming disillusioned, who are wondering, do I really want to continue to trust and obey Jesus? And so I'll be reading from chapter 4, verse 2, and I'm going to read it from Eugene Peterson's paraphrase in the Message. And it goes like this. We received the same promises as those people in the wilderness. And the author of Hebrews is referring to his audience's forefathers, the people of Israel. But he said, even though we've received the same promises, the promises didn't do them a bit of good because they didn't receive the promises with faith. So the people of Israel were God's people. They had promises over their lives. Promises for the land that God had set aside for them, promises for their future. But in those years in exile, they got tired of waiting. They hardened their hearts and they fell into disobedience. And so the author is warning his own young believers, don't do the same thing. Trust in these promises because they can look back in their past and see that God did come through, that God was faithful. And so the author of Hebrews is writing to these young believers saying, so don't follow the same pattern. Trust and believe. Stand firm. Everybody, when we look ahead to Christianity Explored, let me put it this way. Many people will hear the gospel. They're going to hear the good news of Jesus. But the question is, when you hear the gospel, if you're a Christian already, even as you look every day at applying the gospel to your everyday life, continuing to trust and believe God for each day. And for some of us, maybe that's become harder in this season of COVID because of the uncertainty, because of the lack of control. And so maybe we've had to increase our dependence on God, and that has been difficult. Well, we're faced with that whether we believe in Jesus or not. That choice, that decision to trust and obey. So each day, we have an opportunity. Do we respond to the good news of Jesus in faith and believe? Or do we harden our hearts and disobey and not believe? I want to finish with a verse that speaks to this in Psalm 95, verse 8. And it says simply this: today, if you hear his voice, do not harden your hearts as in the rebellion. So friends, regardless of what you're going through today, if you hear his voice, if you reflect on his promises, or if you've never looked into them before, come to Christianity Explored on Tuesday, or open up the Bible and start reading for yourself. Investigate the promises of God. Investigate who Jesus is and what he's done. Consider for yourself. And I implore you, don't harden your hearts, but trust and obey. Give your life to Jesus. It is worth it. Have a great day. And bye for now.